neighborhood was spotless, too neat for a man like Jamal. At least, that's what they thought. Wide lawns, trimmed hedges, houses lined up like teeth in a polished smile. But that smile cracked the moment Jamal pulled into his driveway. A Bentley Ferrari, midnight black, gleamed under the streetlight. Its low growl echoed through the cul-de-sac, a sound too bold, too defiant for the silence of the suburbs. Behind curtains, faces watched. Whispers spread, not just about the car, but about him. A young black man, barely in his 30s, moving into a home they thought belonged to a different kind of family. By morning, the watchers came out. Three men in neon vests stood at the edge of his driveway, clipboards in hand. Ron, their self-appointed leader, spoke first. His eyes didn't hide the disdain. "You can't keep that thing here," he barked, gesturing at the Ferrari. "Against neighborhood code, people don't want certain kinds of traffic around." Jamal raised an eyebrow. "Certain kinds of traffic?" Ron smirked, his words sharp as broken glass. "Don't play dumb. Flashy cars bring trouble. Drugs, gangs, noise. You understand?" His tone dripped with the kind of racism that hides behind fake rules. The clipboard was blank. No signatures, no law, just three men trying to enforce their comfort zone. Jamal's reply was calm, but his eyes burned. "Good thing your rules aren't real." That smirk of his, it lit a fire in Ron. For days, they circled his house, posting fake violation slips, tapping on his windows, cornering him at the mailbox with half-whispered threats. "This neighborhood isn't for everyone." Neighbors watched but said nothing. Silence is its own weapon. Until the fourth night, a loud crack shattered Jamal's sleep. He rushed outside barefoot and froze. The Ferrari was destroyed. Tires sliced, mirrors snapped off, windshield exploded into shards. Across the hood, sprayed in thick red paint. "Go back." The three men stood across the street, chuckling behind clipboards, their laughter echoing like a challenge. Jamal didn't yell, didn't break. He simply stared at the wreckage, then at them, with eyes colder than the night. Because he understood now this wasn't just about a car, it was about him, and that changed everything. Welcome back to Golden Stories, where the truth is darker than fiction. And today's story is about a man who thought he was just protecting his car, but soon realized he was fighting something deeper. If you're new here, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe, because trust me, you're not ready for what comes next. The night after his Ferrari was wrecked, Jamal didn't sleep. He sat in the dark, hands folded, eyes fixed on nothing. Anger was too small a word for what boiled inside him. This wasn't vandalism. It was racism, dressed up as authority, violence disguised as rules. The fake HOA thought they could scare him out. But Jamal wasn't built for running. He was built for war. He started with silence. No police reports, no complaints. Instead, he made phone calls. Not to lawyers, but to old contacts. Men who owed him favors. Men who thrived in shadows. "Keep it clean," Jamal whispered, "but make it loud enough they can't ignore." 2 nights later, Ron woke up to a sound he couldn't place. At first, he thought it was rain. Then he smelled it. Gasoline. He stumbled outside in his boxers, only to find his beloved pickup drenched, the tires slashed, paint peeling from acid burns. On the hood, scratched with a knife, were three words: "Still watching you." His scream echoed through the cul-de-sac. Neighbors watched from their windows but closed the blinds fast. And that was just the beginning. Another HOA member found his security cameras fried, wires dangling like veins. Another came out to see his wife's car keyed with a single word: racist. The fear started to spread, the laughter died. But Jamal, he stayed calm. He waved politely at neighbors, watered his lawn, acted like nothing had happened. The more normal he appeared, the more paranoid they became. Late Friday night, Jamal came home to find his front door open. His chest tightened, but he didn't panic. Inside, the place was trashed, furniture overturned, food smeared on the walls, and on the dining table, a piece of cardboard written in bold black marker: "Leave now. Last warning." Jamal didn't flinch. He picked up the sign, read it twice, and then he smiled because they had just given him permission to unleash hell. Jamal didn't call the police, he didn't call a neighbor, he didn't even bother cleaning up the wreckage they left behind. Instead, he made 3 calls. Short, quiet, deliberate. Each ended with the same line: "Time to collect." By dawn, a different kind of watch began. Black SUVs, tinted sedans, men in plain clothes, faces the neighborhood didn't recognize, started showing up in quiet rotations. They didn't knock on Jamal's door. They didn't speak to anyone. They just sat, waited, and watched. The fake HOA didn't notice at first. They were too busy congratulating themselves. Ron strutted around with his vest stretched tight, clipboard under his arm, telling anyone who would listen that the problem would be gone soon. But the swagger cracked the next evening. That was when he came home to find his garage door open, tools scattered, and one of his family portraits burned to ash in the driveway. No valuables taken, just a message. The following night, another HOA member discovered every lock in his house had been tampered with, not broken, shifted. Doors he swore he locked were found ajar. Windows he never opened were left cracked. His wife couldn't sleep. His kids cried. Fear had moved in. And Jamal? He went about his days like nothing was wrong, shopping, smiling, mowing his lawn as if he couldn't hear the whispers crawling through the neighborhood. Then came the escalation. Ron's phone buzzed at 3 a.m. A video message. He opened it with shaking hands. The footage showed the front of his own house. The camera zoomed in slowly until it stopped at his bedroom window, the same window he was standing in now. Ron dropped the phone. Sweat poured down his face. For the first time, he felt hunted. The next morning, Jamal stood at his window sipping coffee, watching Ron pace his yard like a trapped animal. The roles had shifted. The fake HOA thought they were predators, but Jamal was teaching them what it meant to be prey. And he wasn't finished, not even close. Ron hadn't slept in days. Neither had his crew. Their once loud laughter had turned into whispers, their bravado into twitching nerves. They jumped at shadows, avoided eye contact with neighbors, and never stood together anymore. Fear had rotted their little empire from the inside out. That Friday, Jamal decided it was time to end it. He left his lights off, his house quiet, as if no one was home. Midnight came. The fake HOA gathered outside, whispering angrily, desperate for one last show of force. "This ends tonight," Ron muttered, gripping a crowbar in sweaty hands. They pushed through Jamal's gate and crept toward his front door, but before they could touch it, the floodlights exploded on. The yard lit up like a stage. From the darkness, 3 black SUVs pulled up silently, blocking the street. Doors swung open. Men in dark suits stepped out, their presence heavy, deliberate. No badges, no names, just shadows that moved with purpose. Ron froze. His friends scattered. But Jamal stepped calmly onto his porch, hands in his pockets, a small smile playing on his lips. "Gentlemen," he said, voice cold, "you've had your fun." Ron's jaw clenched. You don't belong here." His voice cracked under the weight of the moment. Jamal's smile widened. "Neither do you." The suited men advanced. Ron stumbled back, shouting empty threats, but his voice broke into pleas. The others begged, swore, promised silence, but it was too late. By sunrise, the fake HOA was gone. Not arrested, not dead, just gone. Their houses stood empty, cars abandoned, doors swinging in the wind. Neighbors whispered for weeks, but no one asked questions. No one wanted to know. And Jamal? He parked a brand new Ferrari in the driveway, its polished surface reflecting the fear he'd carved into the neighborhood. This time, no one dared touch it. Thank you for being with Golden Stories. We hope you enjoyed this dark and powerful journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, stay sharp.